Bob Arum. Oops, up off net. Yeah, up off net. What's up, my people? This is ShowBizz, the don't. All right, man, look. Look at who we have here. KB, what's going on with you? Zay, what's going on with you? Tiz, whoops. All right, man, Lord. Welcome to my morning podcast. First, I want to say this. Of course, we're going to wait for a few people to get in. We got a lot of news, great things to talk about, a lot of big things to talk about, a lot of big things to discuss. But I was reading, I was sitting here and looking at the news. Hold on, got to turn it down. Had my second coffee, Bob Arum, and doing my morning reading. I was reading some of this book. What I do is, if you guys don't know, I'll read some Tyson Fury, I'll read some Joe Frazier, I'll read some Muhammad Ali. It's hard for me. I have like ADD, bro. It's hard for me to stay focused on one thing. So, it helps me to get through if I read a bunch of books all at the same time. So I went back to Behind the Mask. Okay. And I'm going to tell you something that I found hysterical. What kind of character is this guy? Dude, what kind of person is he? Okay, for all of my people from the UK, anybody gypsies or anybody who really know this guy, look, this is a guy. Let me tell you something. What's so funny about this guy, okay? And if you don't laugh, I'm sorry. Number one, he comes from 200 years of fighting men. All right. So his great-great-great-grandfather is like known as one of the toughest men in history. Bare knuckle champion Bartley Gorman. Right. So Nate Gorman's direct, family. Nate Gorman and Tyson Fury are cousins, right? Anywho, 200 years of fighting men, bare knuckle champions. And this guy, I didn't know this. I heard him say this, but I didn't look at it as something I knew. He's from a city called Nuts Corner. I'm sorry. If you're from Belfast, or I think it's right outside of Belfast, I'm sorry. Let me tell you why I find Nuts Corner. Let me tell you why I find it funny. How much of a gladiator must you be? Either you want to see it as Nuts Corner or Nuts Corner. Either way, this guy is from a bare knuckle family that goes 200 years, and he's from Nuts Corner. What is he? A super villain? All right, so look, let's talk about everything we have to discuss today. Oh, wait a minute. And that's Bob Arum, the Black Two Sugars. Next weekend he fights Young King. What's up? What's up, Biz? What's going on with you? We in here. Whoops, up off net. I do have what's going to happen is we're going to talk about combat sports. If you didn't know, that's what we do on the ShowBizz, the adult morning podcast. We talk combat sports. But at the end, I finally got another email for ShowBizz the advice. This is kind of a long email, so I would do this at the end. Okay, we'll talk combat sports for most of it. Anybody want to stick around for ShowBizz the advice? It's something extremely funny going on. We'll do that. I'm also going to trying to start my morning podcast with some tweets. Okay, from fighters and what they're saying. I'll quote a few tweets, a tweet or two. Everybody hit the like button, please. 200 people left from 80,000. Dang, really? Go ahead, Young King. You doing your thing, bro. Thanks for sharing. So I'll start with some tweets and stuff like that. Then I'm going to discuss Deontay, the bronze bomber brother versus Dillian Whyte. Now look, the body snatcher. Look, the WBC said they're all for Deontay Wilder versus Dillian Whyte if Dillian Whyte gets past Povetkin. Now, we're going to have to talk about that in detail. Okay, so that may take a big bulk of this podcast this morning. We're also going to talk about the sanctioning bodies rankings. We want to talk about that. Charlo versus David Benavidez. Jamal Charlo was saying, give me that fight with David Benavidez. Of course. After Jamal Charlo saw David Benavidez take more punches than a little bit from who? Ronald Ellis. Of course, Jamal is like, look here, give me David Benavidez now. And I'm going to tell you what that all means. Now, Jamal, facts are in the bank. Hi, low, good morning to you, brother. I'm going to tell you what that all means. Okay? Jamal Charlo versus David Benavidez. Look like that can happen. Jamal Charlo, he promises a KO. I'll tell you what that all means. We're going to talk a little bit about UFC 261's card. Spence versus Crawford. The biggest fight. I have a few media outlets. I'm talking about like articles being written. Kind of, I don't know what's going on with our community, but I feel like we're getting responses. That's what I feel like. But there was an article, not going to say by who because I don't want to start no mess, but there was an article making the point that Spence versus Crawford is the biggest fight and bigger than Anthony AJ Joshua versus Tyson Fury. We're just going to have to revisit that. Is ShowBizz on yet? This dude. What else we got? Canelo talking to Iron Mike Tyson in hot boxing. Okay, so Canelo tells Tyson and Henry Cejudo, shout out to Henry Cejudo. Love you, boy. That's my guy right there. He tells Tyson and Henry Cejudo that the loss to Floyd, he doesn't see as a loss. He sees as a learning lesson. So we'll talk about that. Everybody hit the like button. We got more than 100 people over the likes. Come on, y'all. Please hit the like button. We work hard in here. And we're going to talk about Henry Cejudo calling out Max Holloway. Can you guys believe that? Everybody hit the Tyson bell. Cedric P. Ponder, a new member. And look, I want to say this. How the hell? I know 200 people in here, so we're going to start the podcast. But how the hell are you guys going to let Pulev show up a couple days ago? Why nobody tell me Pulev was in the war room? You guys going to let Pulev in the war room? Hey, who knew that? Which one of you guys knew that? Did y'all try to tell me? If you did, I apologize. But I'm hearing that Pulev was in the war room and I didn't shout him out. I'm getting DMs like that. Look, first of all, did he show up as Pulev? If you show up with a dummy account, I would never. How the hell would I know? I've heard that I've cussed out a pro fighter before, not knowing who he was. Okay? I heard Pulev was here. Never saw him. He needs to make himself known. That's what I heard. That's what I'm hearing from DMs. Hey, you know Pulev was in your... What? Huh? So, much love, Biz. Hit the like button. Man, everybody hit the like button, please. Let's get 200 likes. There's 200 people in here. Let's keep it a buck. Let's start the show. All right. We're going to start here because we may need more people to get in here. Let's talk about Jamal Charlo calling out David Benavidez. Hold on. Me and the wife love what you're doing. ShowBizz, keep doing your thing. But the got Wilder in the you got Wilder in the Whyte fight. And Benavidez in the other fight. Whoa. Shout out to you and your wife. Let's talk. Jamal Charlo versus David Benavidez. Listen, Zay, Kane, love you like a play cousin. You and your wifey. I love y'all like a play cousin. Okay? I'm happy you guys are happy. I'm happy you're happy. Happy. But I'm going to tell you this. Jamal Charlo will whoop David Benavidez's ass. Hold on. Hold on. Love you like a play cousin. But listen, we're going to have to debate this one. Zay, we're going to have to debate this one. Jamal Charlo will whoop his ass. Hey, I love you like a play cousin. Let me tell you. Unfortunately, Fury ran. What are you talking about? Let me tell you. I like David Benavidez. I like him a lot. I don't like how immature he was at the beginning. I don't like him not coming in weight. I don't like him on booger sugar. Okay. I don't like this guy on booger sugar. I don't like booger sugar. I don't have a thing against them. I got a thing against booger sugar. It's a Tyson Bell. With that said, David Benavidez, a bad boy. His style, pretty good, but not against a guy like Jamal Charlo. Let me tell you, I am the one who thought Jamel and Jamal would beat Jarrett Hurd because that style won't work against them. Hit the Tyson Bell. Bro, and you want to know how when we found that out for sure? J-Rock, when J-Rock stood in the fire and banged with Jarrett Hurd, boxed and banged. Punch box. He didn't just try to punch, okay? I mean, try to box like Lara. He didn't try to just box like Tony Harrison. He punch boxed Jamel Charlo. I think he'll beat Jarrett Hurd if Jarrett Hurd comes that way again. If he fights Jamel Charlo the way Jarrett Hurd was always fighting, Jamel Charlo getting that ass too. So would Jamal Charlo. David Benavidez, I'm not sure if he's as good as Jarrett Hurd. There was a time when I thought Jarrett Hurd should have been a pound-for-pound fighter. David Benavidez, I would never consider him. I wouldn't consider him a pound-for-pound fighter, at least not yet. Okay? David Benavidez, with what he's talking about fighting Jamal Charlo, that ain't happening, bro. Let me look. Jamal Charlo got the size to not get bullied by David Benavidez. He got the athleticism to dictate the pace and the space between him and David Benavidez. He got probably the best jab in the business. Okay, very accurate. He has brains. Outsmarting Sergey Derevchenko. Come on now, that right there was a master class he did against Sergey Derevchenko. He got a crazy chin. If it took 11 rounds for David Benavidez to knock out Ronald Ellis, he ain't knocking out Jamal Charlo. And on top of that, Jamal Charlo is a hard hitter. And he's trained by Ronald Shields. Not happening. Jamal Charlo beat David Benavidez. He knows that. The great thing is David Benavidez doesn't know it because David Benavidez feels that he's great in his head, and that's going to work. That's going to work. With David Benavidez feeling that he's the monster and everybody's afraid of him, he's going to fight Jamal. He's going to fight him. That's going to be perfect. You think David Benavidez beats Charlo? In what world? I gave you a whole bunch, high-low, ShowBizz, the next boxing voice of YouTube TV. Yo, I gave you a whole bunch. Biz, stop fanboying. Fanboying? Then you're fanboying. What I brought up was an analytical breakdown. See, you guys, if you guys want me to predict one over the other, if I predict one to win, don't just say at that point, you can't predict anything nowadays because it hurts your feelings. I gave an analytical breakdown why he would beat David Benavidez. David Benavidez got size advantage. How big is Jamal? Jamal's a big kid. He's huge. He's huge. Biz, let these haters and fanboys be. No. Biz on fire right now. It's real. It's real. You're only as good as your last fight. That's what people say. Okay? But not really. All right? But I'll tell you this. You tell me who looked better, Jamal Charlo, if you want to talk about that point. Who looked better, Jamal Charlo versus Sergey Derevchenko or David Benavidez versus who? Ronald Ellis. You tell me who looked better. ShowBizz, a better way of boxing television. You tell me who looked better. Who looked better? Who looked better? Hey, no. It is real. Jamal Charlo talked to Brian Custer. He told Brian Custer, I want that fight. I'm going to knock him out. Don't forget, David Benavidez, he said that he wanted Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo, now, here's where I'm going to criticize Jamal Charlo. Here's where I'm going to criticize Charlo. Before the Ronald Ellis fight, David Benavidez said he wanted Charlo. Charlo said, you're too young. And then Charlo said, I'll fight you at a catch weight. Remember that? This is where the criticism comes in. He said, I'll fight you at a catch weight. Remember that? Then he saw how he looked against who? Now he want that ass. Now he want David Benavidez. Now he wants him. I ain't seen Jamal Charlo want a guy on that level that bad in my life. He didn't want Bubu Andrade like that. He didn't want Danny Jacobs like that, but he won David Benavidez like that. Because let me tell you something. He knocks out David Benavidez. He gets that fight with Canelo Alvarez come December. 100%. Yo, if Jamal Charlo knocks out David Benavidez, he gets that fight against Canelo Alvarez come December. Big facts. And let me tell you something. We have a very, very bad habit as boxing fans of getting attached to a guy who hasn't proved anything and make him the boogeyman. Holla if you hear me. Tupac, love you, boy. Holla if you hear me. We have a horrible way of grabbing people who haven't proved themselves and slapping the tag of boogeyman on them. David Benavidez, that's one. What's the difference between David Benavidez and Yame Munguia? I can argue that Yame Munguia has done more than David Benavidez. I can argue that. But check this out. What's the difference? Look, David Benavidez is one. I'm going to tell you another one. Devin Haney. That's what we do. We grab people who haven't proved. A real boogeyman is Gary Russell. That's a real boogeyman. He's a boogeyman who's afraid himself. See, there were guys who called his bluff and he was like, I'm good. But Gary Russell has proven himself. Devin Haney, another guy. Who has he really fought? Right? I think that guy got great talent. I think he got talent up the anus. But who has he fought? And we slap boogeyman on them. And then once they get their ass handed to him, we say, he was overrated. He got exposed. We do that. Jamal Charlo messed around and knock out David Benavidez. David Benavidez uses his chin as a shield. David fight with his arms to the side, but don't have the movement of Monzon. Mess around. He got some good hands, but that's not going to work with a great effective jab like Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo mess around, knock that guy out. And I ain't playing. My man said, Crawford, boy, you... Dude, you are completely out of line. But let me tell you, you are completely out of line. But let me tell you this. Jamal Charlo, he knows that is a straight line to having that fight with Canelo Alvarez in December. Because if Canelo Alvarez, him and Eddie Hearn, all right, I'm not a big fan of Canelo Alvarez being signed to Eddie Hearn. I'm not a big fan to Canelo Alvarez being signed to anybody. I was more excited when Canelo Alvarez was working for Canelo Alvarez, with Canelo Alvarez, by Canelo Alvarez. I was excited by that whole idea, by that whole concept. But that's fine, because Eddie Hearn is getting him the fights. With that said, hold on real quick. Let me read the super chat. There's a difference between fanboying and analytical truths. David Ben, last fight, dominated, but should have got a KO. Ellis is no Charlo emphasis. 100%. Now, look, thanks for the super chat too. You capping, Biz. Canelo not talking that Charlo fight. No, brother, I'm not saying that Canelo is talking a Charlo fight. Don't put words in my mouth. Listen, that's what I'm saying. We're men here in a war room, okay? We're real ones here. Don't start saying what I'm saying. You know, that's what immature people do. That's what babies do. That's what cowards do. Don't do that. Don't try to say what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying, because that's what I'm saying. I never said Canelo is looking at Charlo. I'm saying what Charlo can fight his way to that fight instead of tweeting his way to that fight, Instagramming his way to that fight. Use your brain, use your ears, listen to me. All right, that's what the podcast is for. I never once talked about Canelo Alvarez wanting Charlo. So you're capping. Don't cap on me. So listen. Jamal Charlo can fight his way to Canelo. And that's what I've been saying. Don't try to Twitter your way anywhere. All right? Jamal Charlo can beat David Benavidez. Now, because everybody right now is talking about Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe Saunders next. Right? And then in the bank. And then Canelo Alvarez take on Caleb Plant for undisputed. What do people think is the natural fight after that? A Triple G or David Benavidez? Right? Hold on. Which O did you like more, Floyd or Rocky? I like Rocky's more due to the rough fights he had, but he retired early. I'm sure Liston would have. I think Liston would have beaten him. I do. But who O's do I like more? The only reason why I'm more fond of Floyd's more because I saw I lived his whole career. Okay, so but if you remove that personal feeling from it, I like Rocky's more because Rocky did his in a different way. He did his. It depends on what you appreciate. Rocky did his in a slugging way. That's something when you're taking punches and giving punches and you stayed undefeated that way. That's like wow. Okay. But with that said, I lived through Floyd, so Floyd touched me more. He did. I was looking at him like this guy is one of the greatest more advanced technical fighters I've ever seen in my life. All right, so that's what happened there. I watched him from the Olympics on. So look, Canelo Alvarez talking about Undisputed. After Undisputed, people are talking about David Benavidez or Triple G. Problem with Triple G is a middleweight, right? So it's mostly David Benavidez. If Jamal Charlo knocks out David Benavidez, knocks him out, not just beating, knocks him out. If he knocks out David Benavidez, if Canelo Alvarez beats Caleb Plant and becomes undisputed, there'll be nowhere he can go. Just like Hagler. Hagler, love you, boy. Hagler fought his way into where you could not deny the guy. Instead of being on Twitter fingers, you can fight your way into being the person everybody's talking about. That's what Zab Judah told Devin Haney. Devin Haney, you're asking for fights. Zab Judah said, what I did, instead of asking for fights, I fought. See, back in those days, there was no junk mess talking that can get you a fight. Back in those days, you knocked a dude out, and the only mess you can talk is when the mic was in your face in the post-fight interview. Right? So Zab Judah had to get the fights. The same thing happened with Jamal Charlo. Knock on wood. Turning $20. Thank you so much. You're the man, Biz. I always enjoy the emotion in your voice. Take it easy today. King, my man. I love it. Hell yeah. Genuine question, though. Yo, 100%. 100%. And that's the black, 2 sugars. What else we got? You the GOAT, Biz. Thank you so much. This won't be an easy fight for Jamal by any stretch. That's good. I'm tired of easy fights. We don't want it to be easy. We want it to be difficult. We want it to be great. We want it to be exciting. The more exciting, the better. The more difficult, the better. I don't give a damn about easy. But if Jamal Charlo gets that David Benavidez fight, that is the quickest way to Canelo come December. Canelo and Eddie Hearn are both saying that they're going to fight 3 times. They got 3 more times to fight. You had Yildirim already. They got 3 more times to fight. I don't know who Canelo think he is, Jake LaMotta. That guy is trying to get busy. I don't know who he think. Harry Grab? Who does he think he is? Biz, boxing was never about the money for me. All right. Money was an incentive. If boxing was minimum wage, 9 to 5, I would still choose boxing over everything. My man. I really hope John Harmon, I don't know who you are. You a professional fighter? That was great, man. That was great. Facts, Biz. I think Jamal gets past him. I do too. Cotto never asked to fight anyone. He just did. He gave me a Tyson Bell. Because you can put yourself in a position where they just cannot deny you. They can't deny you. Let me read some tweets since we're talking about tweets and Twitter fingers and stuff like that. Let's read the tweets for today. Let's see what we got. This tweet comes from Errol the True Spence. He said, thank you, Ms. Biz. Everybody thank Ms. Biz for this idea and sending me these tweets. Errol Spence says, we'll see who's holding up what when I get this 3rd belt. Okay, that's significant. I can see why she sent me that. That's significant because he said, we'll see who's holding up what when I get this 3rd belt. Meaning that Errol Spence is holding up the welterweight division. Okay, so by not fighting Terrence Crawford, fine. Well, if Errol the Truth is kind of saying that he's going to fight Yordanis Ugas for the WBA. My thing here for the Super WBA, what's up, Biz? Hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Yeah, you're right. Only 180 people. Help this channel grow. Everybody who hasn't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Okay. If you're in a barbershop, I know my man got everybody in the barbershop. Shout out to the barbershop. All you people in the barbershop, grab your phones right now. Subscribe to this channel. Okay. Everybody hit the subscribe button. Get me to 100,000 subscribers. That's going to be awesome. Speaking of which, right now I'm in a deal to get an Anthony Joshua autographed boxing glove. Hit the Tyson Bell. An autographed Anthony Joshua boxing glove. Right now, busr.com. Go to busr.com/showbiz. Place a bet on your favorite fights. They are in negotiations right now to get that boxing glove. Hopefully, it's a glove he wore. If not, fine. It's still an autographed glove. They're in negotiations now. They should be talking to me in a minute. That was another thing I was doing this morning, was talking to them, make sure I can get that prize for you guys. So I can, for the fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Gypsy King Fury, I can hand that out. Best life, my girl. Don't want to throw you off topic, but are you going to watch the Ring City USA card tonight? Just curious. Yeah, I got to hit the Tyson Bell. So, wait a minute, Justice League. No, I'm having popcorn and don't Justice League. I gotta get a bit busy. My bad. All right, so look, that's a 4-hour epic. You dig? So he's gonna fight Yordanis Ugas for the Super WBA title, and with 3 titles, bro. At that point, if you don't call him the A side, that dude's the A+ side. At that point, who you got, Canelo or Charlo? I got Canelo right now at 168. I got Canelo right now, but I love to see the fight. Browns LLC. The LLC is the best part of your name. I have question, Biz. Why don't Triple G fight Andre to try to be the undisputed middleweight? Is it because he know he will lose? Andre that's really being ducked. Triple G has had his entire career is full of why didn't he? I hate when you guys send me a question and make me shoot from the hip, because then it sounds mad disrespectful. Okay. But I keep saying Triple G is one of the best middleweights I've ever seen. Okay. As far as talent, skill, power, I didn't even know how skillful he was until I saw. I knew, he was powerful. I knew that he was very talented. I knew that he was very good. But I saw how skillful he actually was late when he took on Canelo Alvarez that second fight. And Canelo Alvarez took the fight to him and he started jabbing and moving. I didn't even know he had that. Okay. With that said, his entire career is full of why didn't you? All right. So Errol the True Spence. He's the A+ side. If he becomes Super WBA champion on top of WBC champion on top of IBF, that is super A+ side. Now let's see what Jermell Charlo has to say. New era Terry Norris, Marvin Hagler. Who is? I love your ambition, but hold on. Hold on. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes, Playboy. Love you like a play cousin, but pump the brakes, Playboy. Pump the brakes. New era Terry Norris. Pump the brakes. Marvin Hagler. But hey, dude, I love your ambition, okay? Because Muhammad Ali said he was the greatest heavyweight ever, say that he was better than Joe Louis and Rocky Marciano, and that guy was like 20 years old when he said that. So believe in yourself for sure. Willing to fight who or whatever. Facts. And you're more willing to after that Tony Harrison loss. Let's keep that real. Because after you were crying, I don't even like losing in video games, right? You got that softness out of you. Now you took that loss. You know what it feels like? You tougher now, right? So Jermell Charlo said, willing to fight who or whatever. Proud of my accomplishments. Check my resume. Hate or love it. Yeah, I can't. I think Jermell Charlo is a top 10 pound for pound fighter. I think he's like 8. I think he's fine. I think he's like, he can be 7. I mean, the kid is. I don't know why people don't talk about Jermell Charlo like they should. Jermell Charlo is definitely a pound for pound fighter in my opinion, and that's the Black Two Sugars, bro. Because I'm not moving on that. None of y'all can debate me off of that. All right. Javante Tank Davis says strap season. I know why Ms. Beer sent me that, because she likes originality, and maybe she thought that sound like clout chasing or sound like just saying what Errol Spence says. She hates that. So this was a personal thing. I feel you. I think that Gervonta Tank Davis saying strap season mean that we're really going to get that fight with Mario Barrios. That's what I think that means. It looks like, it's strap season. I'm moving up to 140. I'm getting that fight with Mario Barrios. That's what it sounds like it means. ShowBizz, the next boxing voice of YouTube TV. My man in the bank. That's what I think it means. What else we got? Okay, that's it for the Twitter fingers. Woo! That portion is a good portion, but I'm gonna hate doing that. I'm gonna tell you, Biz, I'm gonna hate doing that. Because hearing these guys just run off at the Gipper, but it is what it is. You pick some good ones though, Ms. Biz. Shout out to Ms. Biz, everybody. Salute to Ms. Biz. What else we gonna talk about? Before we talk about Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, we gotta talk about that next. Before we talk about that, we gotta talk about the UFC 261 card real fast for everybody who loves all of combat sports like myself. We gotta talk about that. So Usman versus Masvidal 2. Okay, this is a lit card. Usman versus Masvidal 2. I don't even know who wins that fight. Okay, I'm leaning towards Kamaru Usman, but I'm fanboying. I like Kamaru Usman so much. Like, I really like that kid. But Jorge Masvidal, to me, Usman didn't even do a good enough job getting Masvidal to the mat. All right, so he pressed him up against the octagon the whole fight, and he was stomping his feet the whole fight. So two things was going on. He doesn't like if he's given space to Masvidal. One, number two, Masvidal got great balance, and it's hard to even get him down. Okay, but here's the thing. Number three, the scary thing is, I think Usman is so much of a competitor. He's going to try to fight Masvidal fight. I think he is, and that's an issue. Okay, he got that Errol Spence type of person. I mean, what he knocked out Gilbert Burns with a jab, right? Hit the Tyson Bell. After that, my girl Shevchenko versus Andrade, beautiful. Don't forget, we're also going to have another title fight with Zhang and Namajunas, Thug Rose. That's going to be beautiful. That's 3 championship fights, and it's going to be in front of a full crowd in Jacksonville, April 24th. Hit the Tyson Bell. I don't understand how Dana White is able to pull all of this out his ass. Dana White can have full crowds, and we're sitting here wondering if Tyson Fury and AJ, when they're going to have the venue taken care. Like, you feel what I'm saying? This guy act like COVID didn't even happen. He left and went and had a whole island. Oh, and then now he's back in America before everybody else. This is insane. This is totally insanity. All right. So shout out to Dana White. All you can do is just give him mad respect and mad love for being the first one over the hill and just showing everybody else how to do it. So shout out Tyson Bell to Dana White. All right, so let's talk about what we came here to talk about. Deontay, Bronze Bomber Wilder, ShowBizz. How many days they have to get the venue? We don't know. We don't know for sure. I heard a few things. I heard a year. I heard a month. It's like, we don't know for sure. But what we do know, what I know from sources, is that they're almost done with the venue. Okay, between you and I, don't tell anybody. It's going to be Saudi Arabia. I'm sure of it. I don't know for sure. Nobody told me Saudi Arabia, but how I'm putting the math together, Saudi Arabia. Build it and they will come, my man. All right, so let's talk about Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, versus Dillian Whyte. Mauricio Suleiman was asked the question, would you order Deontay Wilder versus Dillian Whyte if Dillian Whyte gets past Povetkin? What's that, next week? Mauricio Suleiman said, yeah, that's a good idea. Hit the Tyson Bell. Hey, Mauricio Suleiman from the WBC president, he said, that's a good idea. We're going to order that. Now, check me out. What do you guys think about that? Because I'm going to tell you what I think about that for sure. I got the mic. But you guys, let me know in the war room what you think about that. What do you guys think about that? Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder versus Dillian, the Body Snatcher. If he gets past Povetkin. That if, I got something to say about that if, too. That's a nice one. Hell yeah. BS, I got Wilder if he can land uppercut on White's loss. All his loss come from uppercuts. Hold on. That had a lot of layers. Fire. Best Life. Take care of it. If it's something real, Best Life, If he's not doing anything, Best Life, don't take care of it. All right, let it be, because we don't like blocking people here. But Best Life, holla at them, dog. Let them know it could be a wrap. But I don't really like doing that here. I like people learning how to be boxing fans here, because eventually everybody becomes a show business partner. They start cooling out and don't have to be so insecure. Let it be. Let it be. Best Life. Let it be. Let it be. Let me see. Fire. About time. Pulev wins. Okay. Whyte could beat Wilder. Okay, hold on. Ortiz Jr. wants Crawford if he gets past Hooker. What you think, Biz? I don't think Virgil Ortiz got any leverage over Showtime Sean Porter. If Terrence Bud Crawford takes Virgil Ortiz, he's ducking Sean Porter at that point. I'm almost calling him that now. The only reason I'm not is because he wanted Manny Pacquiao, and Manny Pacquiao is a way, but that's you take on Manny. But if it's not Manny, it should be Showtime Sean Porter. And if he has any fight other than Showtime Sean Porter, I'm saying duck. And I love you like a play cousin, Terrence Crawford. But if you don't fight Showtime Sean Porter, duck, quack, quack, bro. Period. Okay? So look. Keep him in line, Best Life. Oh, Best Life play no games. She's been here since the beginning. Best Life to go. So check. This is how I feel. Deontay Wilder would knock the hell out of Dillian Whyte. he would have knocked the hell out of Dillian Whyte 3 years ago. All right. He would still knock the hell out of Dillian Whyte. Okay. So hold on. Hold on. Now, you're talking to somebody, okay, who wasn't shocked by that Povetkin knockout. You're talking to somebody who was expecting Povetkin to win, right? Remember? But I was doing it soft. I wasn't doing it true. I was doing it like a coward when I was doing it. Remember how I was calling it? Remember me on Fight Network? And everybody from Fight Net, much love to you. I still love y'all. Remember me debating Jeremy Harridges? And remember me saying, hey, man, I don't know. Povetkin could probably, I did it soft. I should have said Povetkin's going to kick his ass. Dillian Whyte, to me, has huge gaping flaws. To me, he's a good puncher. Yeah. I remember he beat Derek Chisora. I remember all that. He's a good puncher. Yes. Okay. But speaking of Derek Chisora, you remember that? Speaking of Derek Chisora, remember when I said Klitschko pulled out of the Derek Chisora fight and y'all said it was David Haye? No, it was Derek Chisora. Klitschko had a young Derek Chisora he was going to fight, and he pulled out of that. Emmanuel Stewie said you may want to pull out of that. He wasn't ready. ShowBizz, One Network in the making. One way to your way. Thanks for the super chat. So look, Povetkin can punch, okay? But so who wins rematch, Whyte or Povetkin? I'm leaning towards Povetkin. Unless Povetkin couldn't train well after COVID and he got old overnight. That can happen, okay? There's been effects of COVID on fighters' lungs. Ags, Hamzat, Shamayev. So we got to see. But Dillian Whyte, hold on, in the bank. Dillian Whyte, he got huge flaws, okay? He got huge flaws. But he can punch. So could Luis Ortiz. But Luis Ortiz is a better fundamental, more slick boxer than Dillian Whyte is. Make the thumb blue at work, listening. Up off net, make the thumb blue. Everybody hit the like button. Yeah, you got to hit the like button, man. There's 470 people in here. So Luis Ortiz can box better than Dillian Whyte, okay? Deontay Wilder knocked out Luis Ortiz twice. One with an uppercut, didn't he? Caught him with an uppercut. So that goes to what you guys were saying. Though I think Deontay Wilder can only throw one punch, an effective one punch, and that's messed up. But it's true. Deontay Wilder ain't good with the uppers, okay? He's only throwing. He got to work on the upper. He got to work on everything. He's a right-hand spammer on fight night. So, but with that said, he still knocks the hell out of Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte been dropped by Oscar Rivas, knocked out cold against Povetkin, knocked out cold against AJ. This guy is good for getting wobbled. All right, AJ can really swat, but this guy is good. If you're getting dribbled off the canvas like that, Deontay Wilder's gonna knock your ass out, and that's the black two sugars. Okay. Now, on top of that, I understand he's susceptible to the uppercut. But, and I know AJ knocked out Dillian Whyte with an uppercut, but that wasn't a punch that sent Dillian Whyte on his way. What punch sent Dillian Whyte on his way against AJ? Holla at me. Hit him right in the temple. Which punch was it? And that's the black two sugars. Yeah, Parker almost knocked him out. And Parker ain't a big puncher. The right hand. There you go, Tiz. The right hand. He punched. The right hand went right through his guard. It was a weak guard. Bam. And he did the little funky dance. And then AJ, not Wilder, wild swinging. AJ worked, and then uppercut him and knocked him out and had him laid all over the bottom rope. Remember that? Look. Deontay Wilder, bomb squad, would knock out Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte isn't slick enough. Deontay Wilder would have a harder time with Povetkin, somebody who's slicker. But Deontay Wilder would knock Povetkin out too. Tyson Fury said publicly that he knew Povetkin was going to knock out Dillian Whyte because Povetkin is great against heavyweights his size. When you're bigger than Povetkin, he struggles. AJ and Klitschko. Deontay Wilder being 6'7", he'd get Povetkin. Okay? But Povetkin would give him a hell of a fight. He would. But Povetkin doesn't move good enough to be able to get out the way of Deontay Wilder's athleticism and his right hand for 12 rounds. Ain't going to happen. Biz is talking nonsense. Why don't you bet on it then? Going to lose another 10K. Fidel, you bet on it. Don't talk about my money. You bet on it. Stop being a loser, bro. Stop jumping in here. Why don't you do it? Be a man. You don't have to just listen to my analysis and you live your life. You don't have to try to, why don't you prove it? What are you doing? Grow up. So you grab 10K. You bet on it. Earn 10K. Don't even worry about betting 10K. Earn 10K. Have 10K in the bank and do it legally. Be a man. So listen. My bad, y'all. Hit the Tyson bell. My bad. Povetkin against Deontay Wilder would be a closer fight. But my thing is, when the WBC said that they will order Deontay Wilder versus Dillian Whyte will have to get past Povetkin first. Man, if Dillian Whyte loses, I'm fine with Deontay Wilder fighting Dillian Whyte still. Because Deontay Wilder got to get a good win under his belt either way. Let me see what you guys got to say. Dillian Whyte had Povetkin down 2-3 times. His balance and focus is his flaws. His knockout losses were more one-punch KOs. Also, Wilder isn't mentally invincible anymore. Well, Abdul, he did drop Povetkin. But if you watch the fight and understand what you're looking at, right? You're looking at a guy. One guy had a game plan, Povetkin. That uppercut ain't come out of nowhere. It was a body, right? No. What was he doing? He was doing a body left hook. Povetkin was setting that up for rounds. Dillian Whyte, I told you he was a great puncher. A great puncher knocks people down. His great punching power knocked down Povetkin. True, but Povetkin was schooling him. Hook, body, hook head. That dude messed around and said hook body. Dillian Whyte went to ducked it. No. I think he was going hook head, hook body. That's what it was. Hook head, hook body. So when he threw the hook, Dillian Whyte went to bend down to protect his body, and then Povetkin went uppercut. He set that up. That was one skilled fighter against an unskilled fighter. That was a skilled fighter against a puncher in Dillian Whyte. The difference between Dillian Whyte and the bank, the difference between Dillian Whyte and Wilder is when Wilder knocks down Povetkin. Povetkin Okay? So listen. I think it was an uppercut, Biz. Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, he set that up. He was setting that up. Even when he got knocked down, he kept with his game plan. He knew he was going to knock out Dillian Whyte. See, he was fighting a marathon. Dillian Whyte was sprinting. The marathon's going to beat you, baby. You know that old story about the tortoise and the hare. Come on now. Now look. Salute Biz. Keep them in check, 100%. So look, I'm fine with Deontay Wilder fighting Dillian Whyte anyway. Let me tell you something, though. Deontay Wilder should not be fighting for the belt yet. What I mean by that is this. Tyson Fury versus AJ. Whoever comes out that fire, when Stephen A. Smith said Deontay Wilder should fight the winner, I'm not so sure. I think Usyk should fight the winner. He did set that up, but Povetkin was outboxed. He was outpunched. Povetkin was outboxing him. But you'll know the difference. Watch some more fights. Because you know who was outboxing who. The puncher was Dillian Whyte, who was knocked out. You know who was outboxing who. So listen. Check. Oh, what that reminds me of? It's the same thing, Abdul. If you haven't watched this fight, watch Felix Verdejo versus Nakatani. Felix Verdejo dropped Nakatani twice, but Nakatani was beating him. He was setting him up, and he was outboxing him. I'm like, Felix Verdejo started getting burnt out, started getting tired, and then he knocked out Felix Verdejo. The better boxer won. But I'm going to say this. I don't think Deontay Wilder should take on the winner between Tyson Fury and Anthony AJ Joshua next. I think Usyk should, because if Usyk gets past the winner between Usyk and Joe Joyce, because if Usyk gets past Joe Joyce or whomever wins that fight will be the mandatory for the WBO. I think that's who they should fight next. But hold on. Deontay Wilder isn't an interim champion at the WBC. He's nowhere IBF. Let's read this off. So, the IBF. Let's look at the IBF rankings. Charles Martin. Alexander Usyk. Michael Hunter. Okay? Then you got Abbott Caballal and Joseph Parker and all them boys. Luis Ortiz, all those boys. That's the IBF. Deontay Wilder is nowhere to be found. All right, hold on. Wouldn't Crawford get stripped if he ducks a mandatory? So all Porter has to do is enforce it, right? Then it will go to purse bid, right? Yeah, BJ, absolutely. But we don't know the time limit of the mandatory yet. You know, with COVID and all those things, we don't know how much time he has to make that fight, right? So he could mess around and throw a Virgil Ortiz in there before Sean Porter. So let's look at what is this? This is the IBF. Here's the WBO. Whyte and Povetkin after Wilder fight. Here's the WBO. The WBO, Alexander Usyk. 2, Joe Joyce. 3, Joseph Parker. 4, Andy Ruiz. Deontay Wilder is at 9. He's nowhere close for the mandatory for the WBO. Let's look at the WBA. The WBA got Usyk at 1. See, this is why Usyk should fight the winner. Usyk is at 1 for the WBA and the WBO. He's ranked number 1. Number 2 is Dinu. And number 3 is Wilder. Wilder is in the top 3 with the WBA. Okay? Now, the WBC goes by ratings, not so much as rankings. The WBC got Alexander Povetkin. Okay? Got Alexander Povetkin rated the highest, of course, because he's the interim champion right now. So he's ranked he's rated the highest. Number 2 is Joe Joyce. And at number 3 is Deontay Wilder. So Deontay Wilder isn't even ranked at number 1 or number 2 in any of the sanctioning bodies. So this guy cannot be in line to take on the winner between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. And that's fine, because Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua are going to fight twice Anyway, in that time, Deontay Wilder could take on guys and move up and become an interim champion or mandatory for one of the sanctioning bodies. Deontay Wilder, if he fights the winner between Povetkin and Dillian Whyte, he could become WBC interim champion. Now he has an argument. In the WBA, he's ranked at number 3. He can fight Usyk. If he fights Usyk, okay, or Dinu, all right, Deontay Wilder can jump up for the WBA. I think it'll only be fair for Deontay Wilder to take some fights, climb back up as number 1 contender or as the interim champion for one of the sanctioning bodies before taking on the winner between Tyson, Gypsy King Fury, and Anthony A.J. Joshua. That sounds fair to you? You be hating on what? This guy wants me to pretty much kiss Wilder's ass. I said Deontay Wilder will knock everybody out. I just need him to do it. And this guy is ridiculous. Very fair, bro. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't think Deontay Wilder should sit on his hands and wait. Okay? I don't think Deontay Wilder should sit on his hands and wait. And wait for all the smoke to clear. That's ridiculous. Okay? I think Deontay Wilder should fight like any fighter. Like any fighter, he should fight. What I tell people, let me tell you something that's very consistent about this community and very consistent about ShowBizz the Adult. ShowBizz the Adult is always talking about fighting. Fighters fighting. That's all I talk about. If you guys consider that hate, then you need to not watch combat sports. You need to watch movies about combat sports. You got to watch people talk to each other. You got to watch a talk show. Watch ESPN. Watch people talk, fighters interview. Just watch their interviews. But we talk about combat sports, the combat. So you will always hear me be pro fighting and who they should fight, always. You'll never see me be pro sit down on your ass. Hit the Tyson bell. Now, if you call that hating, then you need to go and watch Lifetime or sit down with your woman and watch whatever the soap opera she's watching or Netflix and chill and do the little stuff that you like to do. All right. We watch fights over here. All right. So look. I think that is extremely fair. Okay. I think that is extremely fair. And I think it makes all the sense in the world. Love you, bro. Have been following you for about 2 years now. You are the real deal. A fan from Puerto Rico, my man. Much love to you. Thank you so much. I think Deontay Wilder versus Dillian Whyte should probably happen anyway. And when you hear what's going on, talking about moving on, that means that there is no third fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Let's drop it. It is over. Okay? That is done. Egg-shaped form ended that. All right? Ended that. So now you have Tyson Fury versus AJ. They're going to fight twice, no matter what. So Deontay Wilder is going to have to get busy to get thrown back into that conversation before other fighters get busy and become the popular fighter that everybody wants to see. Andy Ruiz, go ahead, kick somebody's ass. Povetkin could knock out Dillian Whyte again. People are going to start talking. We want to see Usyk, the winner between Usyk and Joe Joyce against Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Oh, man. Povetkin just knocked out Dillian Whyte again. We want to see Povetkin versus one of those boys. Stuff like that's going to happen because Povetkin's going to be the WBC interim champion, and he's going to rightfully so beat out Deontay Wilder for a chance at undisputed if Deontay Wilder doesn't get busy. You don't let Povetkin beat Dillian Whyte twice and Wilder sits on his ass and everybody just go to Wilder and say, hey, you get a chance. Hell no. Because that sends a bad message to not just fighters, but to you. I tell all you guys that boxing's the greatest metaphor for life. Working hard and demonstrating should get you to the bag. hit the Tyson bell. Not sitting down and saying the world owes me because I lost. But taking life by the horns and working hard should get you to the bag. I was a Deontay Wilder fan and still am, but once I seen a couple of AJ interviews and heard him talk, I relate more to him and became a fan. 100%. I'm a bigger fan of Deontay Wilder, but I relate more to AJ, how he is. You know what I mean? I get everything that AJ is. I relate to him mostly, more than all of them. Okay. We're at an hour and we got a lot to talk about. All right, hold on. We're going to talk about, I'm going to let you know the next few things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about, let's talk about Henry Cejudo real quick. My man, Henry Cejudo. Love you, boy. Henry Cejudo called out Max Holloway. Here's my problem. My problem is Dana White, ShowBizz, a better way of boxing television. My problem is Dana White is so weird. Like, I love Khamzat Chimaev. He's probably my favorite fighter. One of my favorite fighters, top 5 favorite fighters. My favorite is John Jones, probably. But he's like my top 5 favorite fighter. Khamzat Chimaev is trying to retire, and Dana White's like, no. Okay. No, this, of course, is no hate to Dana White, because like I just gave Dana White mad love at the beginning of this podcast. Khabib Nurmagomedov has retired. Dana White's like, no, you're still champion. Henry Cejudo retired. And Dana White's like, get the hell out of here. Dana White, come on, baby. But I don't know what's going on. But there's no consistency here. Now, Henry Cejudo said that he'd take on Max Holloway, but it's fought Max Kellerman. If he fought Max Kellerman, bro, that's so one-sided. If I ever hear Henry Cejudo say, I want Max Kellerman, it'd be like, bro. But Henry Cejudo wants Max Holloway. He said he'll beat Max Holloway. It's falling on deaf ears. I think Dana White should give a response, since he gives a response to everybody else. If Khabib Nurmagomedov said, I want Brian Ortega next, it'll be on. Okay. Canelo Alvarez tells Tyson and Cejudo that the loss to Floyd was a learning lesson. He said he doesn't see it as a loss. He sees it as a learning lesson. Duh. We all know that Floyd Mayweather took him to school. And he said in order to beat Floyd, he would have had to fight Cotto already, Lara already, Trout already. Canelo was like, I needed way more experience before fighting Floyd. But fighting Floyd took me to school. I learned a lot. I got better. Mike Tyson echoed that. Mike Tyson was like, yeah. That's no secret. Floyd Mayweather took Canelo to school. Canelo Alvarez became the Canelo Alvarez he is now. I think he did fight Trout before Floyd, though. But anyway, he said he wished he would have had all those fights before Floyd. I think that's what he said. He was speaking English beautifully, by the way. Henry Cejudo said he wants to fight Ryan and Tank. Yeah, Henry just wants to work. This is a guy who wants to fight, man. And it looks like there was some kind of bad blood with the UFC. It seems like, I don't know. I haven't heard that personally. I got his number. I should just call him like, hey, Henry. No, I don't know what happened. I'm not going to get in their business. I'm going to let that man do what he does. But it looks like he just want to fight some way. Henry will always be a fighter. Will always be a fighter. And the last thing we're going to talk about before we go to ShowBizz the advice. I can't believe we got all this done in almost under an hour. We're going to talk about Spence versus Crawford, the biggest fight. Look. Let me get my black 2 sugars. All right. Let me get my black 2 sugars. Let me do it this way. This community, all right, definitely has a great influence on boxing, and that's what we wanted. All right. We don't dictate anything. We're just heard. We don't rule boxing. We're not the #1 outlet for boxing. We're not the #1 media. We're none of that. Okay. And media doesn't dictate boxing. Media just gives some influence. We're heard. We're taken into account, I think, this community, and that's all we want is respect. And I think that's what we're receiving, respect. So thank you so much to everybody in the boxing world. With that said, I think there was a bit of response. And what this outlet said was, of course, Errol the True Spence versus Terrence Bud Crawford is a bigger fight than Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. And let me tell you something. It's not. It is not. Now look. Great attitude. Thank you so much. We are acknowledged. Yeah, we're acknowledged. That's all we need. My go-to boxing channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Now look. It's not. All right. YouTube. I knew you were going to show up, YouTube. I had a feeling you were going to show up. You think it is? It's not. It's not. Let me give you a few reasons why. Okay. I told you guys all the other reasons yesterday, and I'll repeat it. One, it's making UK history. It represents a country. It's making a history, that type of impact on a country. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford don't have that kind of impact on the States. Number two is for undisputed lineal champion that hasn't happened since Lennox Lewis. Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, as of right now, would be for unified. Okay. YouTube. Thank you so much. All right. So that's two things this fight has on that. Now, what the argument was now for pugilists, a pugilist should want to see both Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford and Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. A true pugilist want to see both of them evenly, okay? But I'm talking about casual boxing fans. Listen. I heard that Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford is bigger in the States because Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford are more known in the States. I got a problem with that for two reasons. One, the States is not the world. AJ is bigger in Africa. AJ is bigger in the UK. Tyson Fury, bigger in the UK. AJ is bigger in Saudi Arabia, what they did with Andy Ruiz. AJ and Fury are big everywhere. AJ sold out Madison Square Garden against who? Andy Ruiz, who just was a 5-week notice. Okay, hold on. Boxing history question: was James Toney considered not to have been heavyweight champion? And Lucas Brown is by the WBA when both popped for PEDs. I don't know. I haven't even thought about that. That's not. I have to think about that. I never even thought about it. Tyson. Why pick Lucas Brown? I haven't even thought about that. Why choose Lucas Brown? I know a couple guys pop for PEDs who were champions. Tyson versus Holyfield 3 would be bigger fight than both. I wouldn't want to see it as a pugilist, though. Yeah, but if that fight ain't an exhibition, okay? But hold on, we'll talk about that, Sante. ShowBizz, a new network in the making, my man. Daryl Alexander, I think saying that Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford is the biggest fight in boxing is a very patriotic statement, nothing more. Good point. It's a patriotic statement. But on top of that, for me personally, out of all my reasons for saying that AJ versus Tyson Fury is bigger than Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, for all of my reasons, the biggest reason I have is saying that Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford is bigger. It's like saying Floyd Mayweather versus Sweet Pea Whitaker is bigger. That fight ain't, I don't see that fight. That fight ain't happening anytime soon. Tell me when's the fight. Tell me what contract they signed. Why are we talking about a fantasy make-believe fight right now? That's my biggest reason. You got people trying to find, hey, if Mike Tyson take on Holyfield 3, we're reaching to see what's bigger. Why are we doing that? Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua is a fight that's happening. Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford said he's not even thinking about Spence. We might as well say Holyfield versus Joe Frazier would be bigger. We might as well As of right now, they're like equally as possible. Why are we doing that? That's a silly argument. What's bigger, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, or Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury? Man, Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, because that fight is signed. Yeah, best life. I got no time to live. I told you, I live in tangible things. I got no time for that. I have no time for that. Now, as far as fantasy fight, if that fight happens, I still think Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury is more important to the boxing sport. Because like I said, the heavyweight division, how good the heavyweight division is how popular the sport is. If you have a great heavyweight champion, that's greater than having a great small man. It always been that way and always will. Who's the heavyweight champion? Heavyweight fights are always the big fights. The heavyweight champion is King Kong. Okay? So that is more important when it comes to the sport. But to say that Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford is bigger in the States, bro, Tyson Fury can have a pay-per-view fight. So can AJ. Terrence Crawford, Bob Arum, his own promoter, is saying Terrence Crawford is losing him money. Stop with this. They're bigger in the States. Terrence Crawford ain't even big in the States. People don't know who Terrence Crawford is. They heard the name. They probably can't pick him out of in a lineup. They probably don't know how his last fight went or against who. Casuals don't even know in the States. Casuals don't know who Kell Brook is, who the Mean Machine is. Terrence Crawford ain't selling out pay-per-views. Why are we acting like this? So give me a fight date for Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, since it's a fight that is happening, as well as the location. My biased sports opinion. There is no venue as of yet and no date as of yet. You know the answer to that. That is the dumbest thing I ever heard. That's like me telling you, hey, tell me where your $1 million are, and I'll let you know if your opinion matters. Like, bro, listen, you already know the answer to that. There's no venue yet. They're working on it. There's no date yet. They're working on it. Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe Saunders. Where's the fight going to be? Where's the fight? Give me a venue. They don't have one yet, but the fight is signed. Come on, man. Stop being a nana boo boo child. What's up with these child thinkers, bro? Where are you? The fight is signed. Look, the first thing I heard was, where's the contract? Until I see pen to paper. Now you see pen to paper. When's the venue? When the venue happened. When's the date? When the date happened. What time is the fight? Then the fight's going. Then they're going to be in the ring. Where's Wilder? Like, stop. The fight is signed. The fight is going to happen more than it's not going to happen. There's too many parties involved now. There's too many people in agreement. There's too much going on now. There are too many people right now. AJ and Clayton are training for Tyson Fury. They're already making a game plan for Tyson Fury. There are too many hands on it now. All the outlets, ESPN, everybody is talking about it now. That is the fight everyone's talking about because pen went to paper. Okay? So if you hate the fight happening, it doesn't mean pen ain't to paper, bro. All right? When the venue happened, you're going to cry about the venue. When the date happened, you're going to cry about that. Just know what you are. You just don't want the fight to happen. Now, let's talk to the sensible people who knows the fight is going to happen, if you like it or not. The sensible people who also are for it because they're for the sport of boxing. ShowBizz is more. My man. We're for the growth of like I said, you're a Wilder fan, right? So as a Wilder fan, you should want the fight to happen because you want boxing to be big. You want there to be an undisputed, so Wilder can only fight one person and become undisputed. You want the fight to happen. You don't want the belts everywhere. You want the belts for one guy. If you think Wilder would beat God, like you think Wilder would beat everybody, God, everything, like he's your king, then you just need them to fight so the belt can be in one person's hands, so Wilder can knock him out for you. So you want this fight to happen. You want it to happen. What makes the AJ versus Tyson fight a disappointment, knowing that it represents these two fighters are not exciting? The average fighters we have to see. What makes the AJ versus Tyson fight a disappointment, knowing what it represents? These two fighters are not exciting. Oh, you don't. They're exciting to me. That's a lot of people didn't like Floyd Mayweather fights, said they weren't exciting, but they were exciting to me. I mean, that's a personal thing. I mean, Floyd Mayweather's fights generally sucked to everybody. Me, I loved it. So that's the part. I'm not going to try to convince you that the fight is nice, because that I personally like the fight. So that's on you. All right. But once again, I'm somebody who liked watching Floyd fight. So maybe I'm a boring guy. So it's a fantasy as well. Don't say you don't discuss fantasy fights if we're discussing that. The contract is signed. The contract is signed. So you're basing the fantasy on venue and date, and that's it. You're not considering the fact that the fight is signed. So what you're doing is you're being biased towards what information is not privy to you yet. So since you don't know the date and the venue yet, you're leaning heavily towards that dictating if the fight is real or not, because you don't want the fight to be there. You're not putting all the weight on the fact that everybody signed a contract, bro. That's where the weight is. The fact that they're negotiating a venue and they signed this and negotiating that. If you put all that together, that means the fight is happening. But you're like, it ain't there yet. You know you are. You're like, if you're hollering at a chick, if you're hollering at a woman, not a chick. If you're hollering at a woman and y'all are talking, hey, will you go out with me? Will you go out? Hey, we're talking. Will you go out with me? Will you go out with me? Are you my girlfriend yet? Bro, you got a chance. Shut up. We're talking. Just let's go to the movies. Let's do this. Will you be my girlfriend? Well, you're not my girlfriend yet. Like, bro, we trying to get there. You know what? Get out of here. Get out of here. That's where you are, bro. That's where you are. What else we got? Daryl. Jay, wait. Ah! Daryl Alexander said, Jay, where you at? He took your spot. Ah, that's the funniest thing in the world, bro. Thank you so much for the super chat. Jay! I love that. Was super gangster right there. In the bank. That was super gangster right there, man. Oh my God. ShowBizz. What do you say? The next boxing voice of YouTube TV. My man, high low. James Bash. Biz, you got to tell these guys, like Kendrick said, don't kill my vibe. Yeah, they got to. We need this heavyweight undisputed lineal champion fight for boxing. We do, but they're not for boxing. We're talking two different things, right? We're talking for the sport of boxing. Even if you're a Wilder fan, I like Wilder. He's in boxing. So I want this to be big. So Wilder, if Wilder get a chance to fight for undisputed, that's big. Like, that's what I'm for. You know what I mean? People ain't for that. They're crabs in a barrel. If you're doing well, I want you to do bad, so you can be on my level, because I'm not going to step up. They don't. So they take that mindset and put it in Wilder. That's why Wilder went egg-shaped form, right? They grabbed that loser mentality, put it in Wilder. Wilder should have said, hey, who's next? Bomb Squad. Remember what he first said? Your king is here. Rise like a phoenix. That's Wilder. These crybabies threw that crybaby mentality in Wilder, and Wilder egg-shaped form. See, that's what he is, right? So he wanted to bring the fight down to try to hype Wilder up. Man, put pressure on Wilder to get up there. What are you doing? Man up. Man up. Where we at? What else we got? What else we got? No, Daryl Alexander is the GOAT. How Hypothetical tag team boxing match: Spence and Thurman versus Crawford and Garcia. Who takes the tag team titles? Something to lighten the mood. Spence and Thurman. I still think Thurman. But that's tough. Because Garcia's a badass, man. That's tough, man. Thurman is such the weak. He's a weaker link than Garcia is. But Thurman can bang with Crawford. Garcia can too. Spence Thurman. I think I had another super chat. I'm going with Spence Thurman. Voice of boxing, ShowBizz for the community. Farts rise better. My outfit today weighs 300 pounds. Funny. ShowBizz equal legend. King, young king. So we had a minute 15. Tag team boxing sounds dope. I know. I came up with that when I was talking to was it Junior Fa? I said if you had a tag team boxing match. Remember when I brought that up? Yeah, Biz. I know this is off subject, but what do you think about Andy Ruiz return to boxing? I'm so excited. It's ridiculous, bro. Because that's another name in a hat of conversation. As many heavyweights as possible, bro. I'm for. Sorry, bro. The wig got me distracted. I forgot what Thurman fight it was, but I did a whole live stream with that Thurman wig ponytail. It was hilarious. So look. So let's talk about this. Y'all ready for ShowBizz advice? It's hot in here, man. It is really hot. Hold on real quick. Let me get some black 2 sugars. You can't make people get excited about a boring fight. Yeah. That's fine. If you're not excited about it, don't be excited about it. Right? It's all good. I mean, like I said, I was very excited about Floyd Mayweather all the time. People are like, yeah, I like watching his press conferences, but I hate watching him fight. I'm like, well, you're missing something great. But that's on you. You know what I mean? ShowBizz, can you get Keith Thurman to autograph the wig and the display for a community? Man, Keith Thurman, look, I'm not going to tell you who he told, but I heard through the grapevine that Keith was like, tell Biz is on site. Now, but maybe they could be lying. But that was like a couple years ago. Like, I'm thinking Thurman is like, hey, look here, Biz. But, Thurman's a cool dude. All right, man. ShowBizz the advice. Y'all ready? We're gonna try to end every live stream podcast with ShowBizz the advice. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for it? Are you scared, Biz? No. He's just talking. It's like Big Baby Miller. Big Baby Miller he wasn't feeling Biz, but it's all good. They know I'm playing. Yes. All right, Best Life. Who else is ready? Just got back. What up, fam? What's going on, Merle Dixon? Where you been? Work? Probably been work, bro. Where you been? Keith gonna slap you, Biz. BK, you ain't playing. Yes, sir. Okay, Loco Fool. All right, here we go. You guys know I can't read. No, I'm just playing. All right. Hey, ShowBizz. I'm a big fan. ! I saw that you are now open to give advice, and you aren't people. Well, see, this is that stuff, boy. My bad, dog. If you're in here in the war room, I'm sorry. And you aren't people on blast. Oh, you aren't putting people on blast. You said people, but that's cool. You aren't putting people on blast by saying their names. So if you choose this email for the show, please don't put me on blast. I'm looking at your name right now. I won't do that to you. So I've been with my girlfriend for 2 years. Here we go. And things were going great. Am I just the love doctor? And things were going great. It's not going great anymore. We moved in together after 6 months of dating. Why you do that? How old are you, Playboy? Why you do that, dog? Why you do that? Y'all got kids? She got kids? What you do that for? After 6 months of dating, and things were going smooth until I lost my job. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is real. This is real. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. DP, busy day, but catch the pod later. I would love to see Wilder KO Whyte. Hopefully, he get his ass in the ring soon for the community. Okay, hold on. Hold on. You called him a sip. Hold on. Wait a second. Things were going smooth until I lost my damn job 4 months ago. He ain't say damn. 4 months ago. 2 years. Y'all been together 6 months. You lost your wait, you moved together after 6 months. So then 10 months later. So you okay. You lost your job 4 months ago. Okay. Now it seems like she always angry and impatient. Certainly. I am collecting unemployment, but I must admit it's enough. So it's not enough. So we've been struggling. Damn. So how you lose your job? COVID? Or you wait, hold on. You said that she's been always angry. Who are you? The third Hodge twin? I love Hodge twins, by the way. So you said that she's always angry and impatient. How did you lose your job? I've been looking for a job every day, but getting no calls. I feel like she understands that there's a reasonable reason for me being laid off. Okay, but it doesn't stop her from treating me like S. Okay, I really love her. Oh my God. But our lease is up soon. So I'm thinking maybe I should just end the lease and move back in with my parents. You got both parents? Shout out to them. But I don't want to lose her. Oh God. This guy said, but I don't want to lose her. Hold on, brother. And I feel that if we move out, we're over. What if? Okay, hold on. I know this may make me look soft to the war room. You ain't lying. But as a reasonable man, I'm sure you would understand. Okay. Yeah, okay. Because you love her. You don't want to lose her. Fine. You love her. I got you. You don't want to lose her. Fine. I've been with my woman for 14 years. Anyway, what should I do? Should I end the lease, which would probably end our relationship? I just don't want us to fall apart over something so temporary because I will have a job again. Right. Any advice will help. Up off net? All right, man, look. My man said she already gone. All right, man, look. You soft as Charmin. Hold on. He's in love. Okay? He's in love. He moved in after 6 months. All right? Now, listen, my brother. So you're saying you moved in after 6 months and she's been angry and impatient with you because you ain't got a damn job. So that means she does and you're unemployed. Let me tell you something. Best life, I'm sorry. And all the women out there, I'm sorry. But I'm going to talk to the guys right now. Let me tell you something, guys. Okay? Women are definitely equal to men and want to be treated as such and should be treated as such. With that said, it is always better if you are the decisions you are making can be trusted by your woman. If you are doing things that your woman can rely on you for. All right. Not to say just be head of the household. I'm not so much just saying that. You got game, bro. They recognize that. Real recognize real. My man. I'm not just saying that. What I'm saying is this. Women feel comfortable when they can rely on their man to give direction. Not give them direction, but have direction, progression. Okay? So she can, best life. Holla if you hear me. So if you're not doing those things, of course she's pissed. It is what it is. You got to be progressive, bro. Okay? You got to be running things, right? As far as your life, as far as things that she could depend on, rely on, and trust you, as far as decision making. She doesn't have to do so much. All right? You're not doing that right now. But you're not telling me the whole story. All right? How do we know for sure that she's angry and impatient because you lost your damn job? Because let me tell you this. Men are full of ego, okay? We're full of ego. We got to feel like we can whoop a man's ass, feel like we can take care of whatever. The more we can do that, it builds our confidence and ego, making us more attractive. When you lose a job, maybe you were acting a little soft here and there, and she didn't like that. Maybe when she said something, you thought, oh, you talking to me like that because I lost my job? She like, why you acting like a little, like, why you acting soft? Right? Almost said the B word. You feel what I'm saying? Maybe you're insecure that you lost your job and you're acting like you're acting soft around the house. It could be that. Not just the fact that you lost your job. Maybe you're insecure. Maybe it can be that. All right? Here's another thing. What you have to do to fix that, bro, love yourself. A queen will love you for that, 100%. Let me tell you something. What you have to do to fix that, brother, and everybody in the war room hollering at him. I'm young and I like being free. I feel you, best life. What you do to fix that, bro, let me tell you. You take control. You be progressive. You ain't got a job. You look for one every day. Don't just look for one every day. You know that little hole you got in your wall because y'all broke the stopper on the floor? And that door swung open, that door now put a plug to hole in that wall, and that hole still not plugged, plug that shit. Do stuff around the house. Hit some push-ups. Read a book or two. When your woman come home, give her food for thought. Give her something to let her know that you're progressing. If you're trying to hold on to her, let her know you're progressing, okay? Let her know that you're in control still. Hey, baby, I had an idea. I'll make spaghetti tonight. You can't mess up spaghetti, bro. Okay? Make sure you're progressing no matter what. Don't sit around playing PS5. You got PS5, don't you? Because she got the money and she got it for you for Christmas. Don't lie. So, bro, don't sit around playing PS5. Do something to make you feel like you have worth to yourself, because then you won't be acting so soft around the house when she comes home. Now, here's my thing. If that's not the case and she's coming home angry, impatient, just because, that means she's talking to somebody else. And what I'm saying is, and it's at her job. And what I'm saying is this, they probably not even talking, but that person has at least put something in her head to say that he's greater than her, greater than you. A woman don't like to feel that somebody else can see y'all relationship as fractured. And she has a lot to do with it. Let me tell you what guys do. What us guys do is we'll talk to a girl. If a girl is in a relationship, we'll wait to find something that's broken. If that girl say, yeah, I really love him, but he ain't got a job. He's on it. Hey, you want to go to lunch? I got you. She's coming home pissed because she doesn't want to lose you, but she has an attitude. It's the other dude at the job. Real talk. Biz is a good guy. Hey, yo, real talk. So let me tell you something. I had an apartment. All right. Before I did what I had to do. I had an apartment. I went to school to get my MBA. I already had my bachelor's. Okay. I got laid off during the market crash. All right. I was with Ms. Biz. Me and Ms. Biz was together. I had to move back to my mom's basement, homie. Okay. I had 2 kids, grown ass man. But let me tell you something. I was going to school. So that has a little bit to do with Ms. Biz keeping the respect for me. That woman sat right there in the basement. We watched movies in my mama's basement. She loved me all through it. All right. Then we got this house. All right. We both came up financially. We got this house. Now I work for myself. Let me tell you something, dude. If you are afraid, and this is my last statement. If you are afraid that ending your lease and moving in with your parents is going to lose her, you don't need that broad. And that's what I'm going to call her. I don't care if you love her or not. If you move back to the crib and you feel that means she's out, you don't need her ass. Because you need somebody that's there when it's thick and when it's thin. So you move back to your parents, you feel on some hard times, it's temporary, she's out. You want her to be out. King Kong ain't have nothing on me. You want her to be out, bro. It's best that she's out now before y'all have kids or whatever, and you find out that she's going to be out later. ShowBizz the adult. Hey, bro, you ain't got the money. Y'all struggling in that damn lease and go to the crib. I'm out. Huh? That's the real dog. I can't come no. No realer than that.